What's up, everybody? So, give me 1 second. I'm just finishing up a character. So just give me 1 second. Enter that. Alright. And two. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm almost done. I have to. I'm a bit behind. So, really two. Uh, Alright. Why does it do that? Hold up. I need the. So something ain't working here. Let me bring this up a little bit. Alright. This would work. Shrink the size. There we go. Right there. Alright. Now we're ready. Yeah, so let's get that rolling. Alright. Alright. So, I'm going to show you this real quick, guys. This is what I was working on literally just now. So, yeah, so you can probably tell what it is about, but, yeah, so let me get the first one. So let's start with the one I've been talking about for a while now. Spelled that wrong, but it's whatever. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you guys if it will show up. I wanna wait for it for you guys. There we go. So this is Terra the Taiju plans, as you can tell here. Yeah, so these are like not the actual updates, these are like the plans. Alright, so the Taiju on release for the first one, here are the Taiju that will be on release. Destroya, Star King, Shimu, and City Destroyer. They'll actually not be on release, is what the new plan is. I will definitely go into that later. Same with Badgen and Saber Badgen, I will go over that later. So in reality, you're going to have 1, 2, 4, about 4 Taiju on release. I did forget to add a character, which is the Battering Armor. He will be on release. Yeah. So here's the combat. So every Taiju will have, some Taiju will have like 5 attacks, being very hard to master, while others will just have 3. Which, this is basic on, this is really, Project Kaiju based, which is why the combat's going to be based on steel. Hitboxes are going to be a little bit funky or janky a little bit. Some of them will be that. So, do prepare for that. I will definitely go in more detail about that. So, that might change when the game comes out. I will say that. Here's the map. It's meant to different areas like cities, deserts, temples, forest, Arctic, all that stuff. Events. Sometimes will be event exclusive. I will go more into that in a minute. Will also come with a battle pass most of the time. Most events will come with battle passes based on different things. Small events like Easter would reward skins, obviously. And this is possible. Live events will happen. I will definitely get into that in a second. Here are the updates planned. There are about 30 updates are planned, which I will show you all those in a second. Some events, tone. Some events, tons. Yes, there are some events, tons of kaiju, and more. Trying to write that wrong. Alright, that's all of it. So I want to go more in depth, like sometimes will be event exclusive. Yeah, so that means like there are going to be event kaiju that won't come back. Unlike Kaiju Universes, but there are Halloween events originally. I literally will be locking certain kaiju behind things, by the way, so be prepared for that. So now let's get into the good stuff, you know what I'm saying? So now, this is where we'll actually slow down, since it's been only 7 minutes since the direct started. So after we're done this, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to go to a different game. So, let's just get started on this, then we're going to go slow. So these are the updates. So testing was planned for mid-2026. That has been changed to mid-2026 to 2030. It's because I want to actually grow up and understand things. Because I am a bit too young to actually start owning a game. So, another thing I do want to talk about, let's talk about my testing plans, and it's just mid-August of 2026 to 2030. And then release will be 2026 to 2030. 2030, I mean. The thing is that I want to start working on movies by the time I'm about, like, 22. I graduate high school in 2030. So, I want to start making games when I want to start working on this when I'm about, like, 15, 16, something like that. So, like, it actually works. Yeah, so this was actually a really old document, so I did have to edit it a little bit, so let's talk about the updates. So the first ever update, the game will be adding Final Wars Gaiden to the roster, while also introducing the mechanical parts currency. Yeah, there are going to be different currencies, but don't worry, it's the same way you get the same amount every time. Second update is adding the Baiden's boss, which is actually what I was going to talk about, so let me pull that up real quick. So, these two will be actually in the second update, not the first on release, so do keep that in mind. Yeah. You also will unlock this at Ruby rank and up. So there are going to be about 305 levels you can get, and one of them is Ruby, which I believe is 200. Not mistaken, yeah. There will be Prestige, but don't worry about that. You will still have it a lot. The third update will add the story mode: easy, medium, hard, very hard, and extreme mode. Extreme mode was actually, I think, the first theme concept I released. I have to check that out, because I did actually release all the first mode besides Nightmare, which we'll get to that in a second. So, I was watching YouTube a while ago. Let me go ahead and check. Go to playlists. I think I have it here. It's Tyler Touch Leads. Yeah, so the first one I've ever made was it was the Terror, the Taiju, it was the Dark Duo League, and then I made the Extreme Terror boss theme. Uh, not that. I don't know why that's there. Anyway. Then I believe Crab Infestation, then it was Mauling Terror, the New Empire, and the Frost Beast. Yeah, so I did release all of the boss themes for the first three updates, besides one of them. One of them I just liked, you'll see that one later. That's for the second one, which we'll get to later. The fourth update will be the first season, which is actually going to be themed around jobs. I think I mentioned this in a previous live stream. So the first season will be based off of jobs, like all that. It will follow the same thing as Project Taiju did. So don't worry. All the stands aren't going to be unique. They're all going to be at least epic or higher. So do not worry. Yeah, so a lot of these skins are going to be really cool. All that. And they also will have custom icons and banners if you guys want them. The fifth update will be the first real event, adding 2 limited time Taiju, which is Inferno and the Leviathan. These two are going to be really rare because of how limited this event is. This event will last for a week. Yes, you heard me, a week. This is what the plan is. This is not an event that you will really think about, but yeah. So this will be the first 2 and probably the rarest of them. It might be a live event. We might do a live event when the event ends for these 2. So yeah. The 6th update will be adding Saber Obsidius. You'll see him later in Terror of the Taiju 2. The 7th update will be the skin missions update. So yeah, so you can get skins for missions as well. So 10th update will be adding Batatron, which we did actually change the name, so this is incorrect. I will fix that later. You'll actually see how it's supposed to be spelled. So yeah. Update 10.5 will be adding Season 2, which is based off of vintage games. So, the olden games, Yeah. The 11th update will be adding Orga, who, by the way, I will be adding Godzilla Taiju in the first one, but then the second one and the third one will not have Godzilla Taiju. I do want to specify that real quick, so yeah. The 12th update will be adding Omega, which I have been teasing. I teased, one of the first teasers, I think. Hold on. Let me show you. That was, in the Terror of the Taiju Q&A thumbnail, I think, right? Yeah, that was literally in the first thumbnail I ever made for Terror of the Taiju, I think, yeah. Let me find it. Yeah. Here, I'll show you. I have the concept for it. So let me show you this. Quick. So here it is. So this guy right here, he is the inspiration for Omega. By the way, so he's the inspiration for Omega and all that. So there's also a Trooper here who I do think I forgot to add to the Taiju on release. But a lot of you should know that he will be on release. This guy right here will be another Taiju you'll see in this game, and I don't know. This guy I think is cut from the game, so I decided not to add him. Nothing I did. So this type of design won't be in the game, I don't think. I have to check that, but yeah. So anyway, let's go back to what we were doing. So yeah, The 13th update will be huge skin drop, which will be the first built-in skins, which also will be reworking Metadearus and Sidoricon. Sidoricon will have much more fluent transformations and easier transitions, while also having a new model, and will have slightly different attacks. Metadearus will also be getting a built-in skin, being the Metadearus, which I will get into that in a second. So built-in skins are they're built-in skins, which will not be in 2 or 3, but will return in the 4th one as more easier to actually use. So Metadearus and Sidoricon will be reworked. Metadearus will be a limited time thing that costs 20,000 ancient stones, which is the currency. So, yeah. The 13.5 update will be added in the 3rd season, which is based off the military. Trooper will be the ancient skin, by the way. So, 14th update, adding Sadra Crystalite along with the Kaiju quest for two of Sidricon's I think I did this wrong. So this is complicated, but there are going to be 2 quests for Sidricon's old foe and the old Sidricon. So I will definitely show you those. That was actually originally going to be, remember that Vector vs. Con stop motion video I was teasing? Yeah, you'll see those in game. So yeah. The 15th update will be a massive update that revamps the map with the Warriors of the Elders, adding 3 new Taiju, with one of them being limited time, being called Excalibur, and the other Taiju being named the Dark Knight and the Sentinel. This update also adding free roam bosses, giving you skins and new Taiju, and also Season 4 being based off Space/Universal as well. So that is a huge update as well. The 16th update is adding Sidra Mechagodzilla, who is completely different from who you'll see. I don't know if he's here. Yeah, so Sidra Mechagodzilla, will be a completely different character from what I think the Titan Killer is. You'll see him later. The 17th update will be adding Urshifa, who will actually be appearing in one of the games you'll see. Yeah. The 18th update is adding the Wild Forest, which is also covered with the Game Pass Taijus Gord, Stope, Treadster, Scorn, and Spinexter. Yeah. So do get ready for those. Those will be the only Game Pass Taiju that will ever be in our history, so they're going to be pretty cheap. They're I think we're going to make them 800 Robux. I think it's okay. So yeah. Anyway, 19th update will be adding Sidra Megalon. 20th update will be adding the Titan Killer / Hellish Mech. I did actually make a fan-made trailer of that, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so he's completely different from Sidra Mechagodzilla, and yeah, so they're 2 different things. He's actually much more OP than you think. Trust me, he'll be very expensive. The 21st update will be adding the game show game mode, making it like a trivia duel fight, I actually really like this concept, so. The 22nd update, adding the crystallized DLC for story mode. Again, will be Game Pass 400 Robux. 23rd update, adding the 4th of July mech Retster. Name is Retster. 24th update is adding the Nightmare difficulty for story mode with 100 stages with 4 bosses being Sherbert, my favorites, Ghidorah, the King of the Hydras, which was the gold dragon on the thumbnail, Destroyer, who will be in all 3 games and might return for the 4th, and the Earth Dweller, who will be in all for the first 2, and will probably come back in the 4th. I don't know about 3, but yeah. The 25th update will be adding Cubone with the Season 6 being an Overwatch theme season. So, yeah. Which will also have built-in skins. 27th update is not confirmed, which is actually confirmed not to be coming. A collab with other Taiju games called Antiversal, adding a new constant and a bunch of other Taijus. The update will now be replaced with a new event, which is the summer event. So, yeah. The 28th update is adding the studio mode, giving you ranked skins. So if you do a bunch of like studio things, this is based off the Godzilla Battle Line studio. So the more you do with the Taiju in that mode, or the more you play with the Taiju itself, the skins you get. So they're pretty cool. 29th update will be adding Yellow Rash. I did forget about the Taiju, but yeah. Now the 30th update will be the final and big update, adding the Creator boss fight and remodeling Destroyer. And adding many Taiju like Grape, the Gladiator, Bruiser, and of course, the Creator. Also, we'll have in credits, and of course, I can't wait to show you guys the Taiju and how it looks. So we're going to take a brief intermission for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer. And yeah, so you guys can go ahead and relax, and I will have a timer set for 5 minutes. Alright, here we go. So you guys will have 5 minutes, so I will be right back. Alright, we are back. And we are ready to roll. Alright, we're gonna go to Defenders of Humanity plans. This will be pretty short, and I'll have another 5-minute intermission. So here's Defenders of Humanity plans. Now these are the towers fully done so far. So we have Foot Soldier, Slayer, Music Man, Research Base, the Bank, Iron of Justice, the Bomber, the Mafia Boss, Golden Slayer, the Knight, the King, Icebreaker, and Trooper. I made Icebreaker before TDX'd, don't even. Now I did talk about these I think a little bit before, so yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Here are the modes. You have Wreck Mode, Prehistoric Mode, Fistful Mode, Dark Mode, and Redacted. So yeah. Wreck Mode, you will fight a corrupted and broken scientist with lab-inspired enemies. Prehistoric Mode, come on, you'll fight a prehistoric-themed mode with dinosaurs and other prehistoric monsters, come on. Fistful Mode, you will fight a karate-themed mode with a boss with powerful fist powers, like, he's pretty much melee, so he's a pretty easy boss. Dark Mode, this mode will be based off the main villain faction, and would be reworked later on to be much different, but still themed off the Dark faction. So, yeah. Redacted is pretty much redacted. So Redacted is pretty much going to be redacted through a lot of the game. It's a very, difficult mode. It will have redacted waves, and Redacted will also have a lot of more. It's weird because Redacted is an interesting mode because of how difficult it is with its redacted amount of waves. So anyway, other features: a daily login calendar. It does not reset. Student crates, events, event towers, and knockback. Events. They will tie into Terror of the Kaiju after the first one. Event towers will only come back for reworks unless they are in high demand. I will tell you, that's how it works. Skins will never come back after they released unless they are crate skins. Crate skins that are limited will most likely come back. Battle passes will contain some towers at times. I believe that's what we're going to be doing with one of the events, I think. So yeah. The daily calendar will give you coins, XP, skins, and crates of your choice. Knockback. Now this is the new feature I'm adding to this game. This will not only knock back your towers, but also will cut your towers' range off depending on how close your towers are. Not only knocking them back, but you will also get half of your range cut, depending on how close your towers are. I believe that is it. Yeah, it is. We didn't go on to the next one. Let's go to the Fear Within here. Alright, this is what I was working on when we started, so let's start with the Fear Within. So we have main characters: Bernie, Trapper, Jade, Ferdinand, Billy, and William. They all have different abilities. Bernie has night vision, Trapper can place traps, Jade has a spear, Ferdinand's just like a normal guy. Billy has a gun, and William can sense monsters when close. So we're going to talk about the monsters. The gameplay will be very similar to Pillar Chase, and the maps will be inspired. There will be a story mode, and the maps will be inspired by your certain fears. So the Fear Within will be based off of phobias, which is why I showed you this before. It will be a horror game based off phobias, and again, most of you are probably going to pee your pants because Retina is a monster. And it'll be even more cruel and make her the starter monster. So yeah, Retina is arachnophobia. Damage per hit, 40, stamina, 75, stamina drain, 4, and speed is 18. Ability 1, Silky Situation. When a player walks into the web trap and it will do 10 damage for 10 seconds and alerts the monster. Ability 2, Hive Mind. This is going to scare the living crap out of you guys. Rena will turn into thousands of spiders and crawl onto their prey, and she will rebuild after 15 seconds, but you can cancel this ability whenever you want. Which, by the way, when you see that ability and it crawls onto you, it will just be spiders all over your screen. Another thing I will be saying is that she will have a spider sense passive, which I forgot to add because I didn't have time, but yeah, she will have a spider sense passive, which is, what do you think? So, yeah. Nimbus is the fear of flying. Damage 35, stamina 60, stamina drain 5, speed 15. This is kind of a very interesting character. So ability 1, Storm Clouds, makes a bunch of clones while the lights are on. So the way Nimbus works is that players can only counter players with light. The players can counter Nimbus with light. So there will be a bunch. So when Nimbus is the monster, there will be a bunch of light bulbs and a bunch of lights that will flicker. Okay? The players can flicker them whenever they want. Nimbus can make clones during that, so you don't know which one it is. And if you walk into one, you're dead. Twisty Turner is ability 2. Summons a tornado and follows the closest player and damages the player until it is destroyed. You might change that. Ability 3, Raging Gas. This will boost your speed by 25%, but also increase your stamina drain by 20%. So, there's the trade-off. That might be decreased to 10, but, you know. Nibaku, my favorite character. Fear of Snakes. Oh my god, my social studies teacher is going to hate me for this one. This is going to have a similar mechanic to the Forest game where it does more damage when you're walking, not sprinting. Nibaku has 15/30 damage, so stamina is 60, drain is 9, and its speed is 23. Ability 1, Silvering Charge. He'll charge in a straight line, and if you are in the crosshair, he will grab you and give you poison. So it's a new effect where it will poison the player, and like it will just poison the player. So yeah, it will be a new effect. Ability 2, Coffin Summon. He'll teleport to a random coffin around the map, which will be there. And then you can come out whenever you want. It's gonna be like Uncle Samsonite's new domain, right? He'll also summon snakes to attack you when he pops out of the coffin. So yeah. So here's the inspiration for the next monster, the Trench Dweller, which is the fear of the ocean. Which I really love this image. It really looks really good. I just love it. Damage 75, stamina 125, drain 5, speed 19. Ability 1, Swallow Up. The Trench Dweller goes into the ground and will swallow any player, dealing 35 damage. Ability 2, Grand Slam. The Trench Dweller jumps and up and up. The Trench Dweller jumps up and belly flops on top of players, stunning them, and if landed on, it insta-kills. So yeah, he's pretty decent. So yeah. Ability 3, Tsunami. This slows players down and pushes them back, and if they hit a wall, they will lose 10 HP. Watcher. It's Claustrophobia. Another famous one. Damage 35, speed 18, stamina 90, drain is 3. Ability, Enclosed. Can enclose players in a tight space, which is like, you know, so you can kill them. Ability 2, Walled Off. Can summon wall, and if players touch it, damages them. Yeah. Another thing, the Trench Dweller will have a passive where is this bar, and the more water he gets, the more damage his abilities do. Hold on. Dealing. Hold up, I gotta type this. So yeah, that will be his passive. I should put that there. He will have a max of 35 damage for Swallow Up ability, The tsunami ability will actually be the same no matter what, but yeah. So the more, I should probably also put a kill do 25 slash 50 slash 75. So the more, like the more this water builds up, the more damage you'll deal. You know. So Fowler, the fear of holes. That one. And my friends are gonna kill me for this one. The only one, Drainer, summons holes in the floor and it like stuns players and sucks them into the holes, and then plops them back down. Let's see. Why are you so close? Hold up, hold up. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so ability 2 is called Hole, picks up a player and bites them with a hole, doing 30 damage. Alright, now I have Frosty. I know it's hard to read here, so I will do Control Shift plus. So here you have Frosty. Frosty is the fear of snow. Damage 45, speed 20, stamina 100, drain 4. Ability 1 is called Snow Pile. This summons a snow pile and that traps players and deals some damage to it. Doesn't matter. I don't know how much damage it's going to deal, but yeah. Think of it like EXE's traps from Pillar Chase. That's pretty much what it is. Ability 2 is called Avalanche. This summons a huge wave of snow and covers everyone in its path, slowing them. And its passive is Blizzard. Every hit, it blurs the player's vision for 2 seconds. This is maybe down to 0.5 seconds. Yeah. So, alright. So yeah, Frosty's probably my favorite hero. Probably my favorite monster I've ever made. Alright, here we go. Sunioact, which is like a maniac, but yeah. So it's the fear of the sun. Damage 50, speed 17, stamina 80, drain 3. Ability 1, Raise. This summons beams that damage players for 15 damage. Sun. Literally just called Sun. This summons the sun, showing where every player is on the map. Now we have our last monster, and I think that is it for the Fear Within, and then we can talk about Terror of the Kaiju 2 after we take our 5-minute intermission. Now it should be 10 minutes now, because that should be 15 minutes, so yeah. Urshifa, the Fear of the Dark. Urshifa is a fast, light-hitting monster, by the way, so. Damage 15, stamina 125, drain is 9, and speed is 30. Ability 1, Light of Dreams. This makes this monster invisible and lasts for 10 seconds. The Nightfall Lunge. This is where Urshifa lunges and deals 30 damage to the player. Ability 3, the Dream's Sights. This is where the player is in a white room where a memory of their life, and lets Urshifa sneak up on you and deal massive damage, which also I think I might make that an insta-kill, but yeah. So Urshifa is a very old monster. I made this guy like literally like it was the first monster I made. So yeah. Alright, we're gonna go into our 15-minute intermission. We'll talk about Terror of the Kaiju 2. So yeah. Alright, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end the intermission here. So we can just talk about the rest of this and oh, excuse me. This is done. I just had my lunch. That's why I made it 15 instead of 5. So y'all could eat lunch. This is about lunchtime, so yeah. Alright, so let's talk about the last game, and then I'll talk about Terror of the Kaiju 3 and New Legacy a little bit. So I just finished this literally like a few minutes before the stream started, so yeah, so if it looks bad, that's why. I started working on this last night. So here's Terror of the Kaiju 2. Release will be early 2028 to late 2031. Because again, as I said, Terror of the Kaiju 1 is going to last about a year. So yeah. Anyway, update 1, adding stints to the game. Yeah. Adding Kaiju Bataron, which is how you pronounce it. Not Batatron. It's Bataron. Update 2.5 will just be adding missions. Update 3 will be Season 1 based on Peace. What I mean by that, I mean like something heavenly like that, like based off of peaceful things, like trees and stuff, all that. Update 4, adding Kaiju Zap Winged X, who was actually going to be the first one, but I decided to cut him and put him in 2. So. Update 5 will be adding Story Mode. Classic again, it's the same thing. Update 5.5, adding Mission Skins. Update 6 will be adding Free For All. Update 7 will be adding the Wrecker. We'll be adding Wrecker, who's in the Kaiju as well. Update will be the Spring event, which will be based on ducks, like a certain game, like TDOs. Update 10 will be adding a 6v6 mode, instead of a 3v3, I know, 12 players. A whole lobby for free roam. Update 11 will be Season 2, which will be based on the summer. Update 12 will be adding the Bruiser Kaiju. Bruiser from the 30th update last time. Update 13 will be adding Sidra Mothra, a new Kaiju. Update 14 will be adding Nightmare Mode to Story Mode. 300 levels, by the way, so there's a lot more bosses. By the way, Destroyer, the classic 4 will stay, but there will be new ones as well. Update 15, Halloween event with 6 chapters, which that event will be very important to the story. Update 16 will be adding Sidra and Garrus. Update 17 will most likely be the Xmas and Winter event. Update 18 will be adding the Charge, Sprint, and the other overall stuff. So yeah. Update 19 will be the Valentine's event or update. Update 20 will be adding Iron of Justice, which you'll see in actually a tower. If you remember when I just showed you Defenders of Humanity. Update 21 will probably be the April Fool's update. Update 22 will be the Season 3, which is going to be based off of movies. Update 23 will be adding the Titan Killer, or the Hellish Mech. Yeah, so it'll become back much, not as OP, but yeah. Update 24 will be adding Sidra Obsidius. Update 25 will be adding in ranked rewards. So if you rank in ranked mode, you can get rewards. Similar to how Marvel Rivals does it, but differently. Different. Adding the Clock Watcher, the Clock Stopper, I mean, in Update 27. Update 28 will be based off of video games for Season 4, which is actually the last season. Update 29, adding Sidra Megalon. Update 30 will be update the map. Update 31 will be adding the map bosses, which is the free roam bosses from Terror of the Kaiju 1. Be adding those. Adding update 32 will be adding a new mode. There is no name for it yet. I have to think of one. Adding oh, I think I spelled that wrong. Retractor is update 33. Update 34 will be adding the Atron Kaiju, which is what Redster was. So, yeah. Update 35 will be the final update with the boss Soulless Knight, who's a huge character and story if you all are into that, with normal and nightmare mode. Also added in Sidra Chirno Alpha as the last official Taiju to be added to the game. So yeah, that is actually about it for the Direct, honestly. I do want to keep things brief for Tyler Taiju 3 since it literally just got done. So not everything is planned out, which is exactly why we have nothing done yet. So we don't have anything done completely yet for Tyler Taiju 3 yet. It is done for concepts, but overall, Tyler Taiju 3, it just doesn't have update plans. So, New Legacy, don't even expect that to be in a Direct. Holy cow. Because that game will probably last for years. That's the plan. Because the first thing are probably going to be like testings and all that. So, another thing I want to mention in this Direct is that if I did not get the game out by 2030, it will most likely be going to the creators. It will probably be under a new owner, or it will be going to the creators of a different studio for Roblox. So do keep that in mind. And yeah, this was exactly how I planned to do it, and at 1 p.m. So thank you all for coming here. Thank you for the views. I understand if you couldn't make it, but if you want to watch this on your own, you know, go ahead. I will definitely reveal more soon. And, yeah. There was supposed to be, like, a Marvel game. That was what the Fear Within would have been. It was going to be like Transformers Crossfire. But we decided to cut it, and we'll actually be implementing some of those fight designs into Terror the Taiju New Legacy. So, yeah. So with that, I will see you guys later. Have a good day, and I hope you all are excited for this game. See you. I hope you all are excited for this game. See you.